Just 2 more series to round out the day. This next one's going to be a best of 5, and then when we get to the final, it will be another best of 7. But we're getting straight into the action here, folks. We are absolutely cruising, and we know that Method Orange is going to be the team potentially with the answers here, but they... What
am I even looking at?
Whoa.
I mean, Baby Cakes comes in with the rogue, right? Like, this is a woe from both sides.
I actually like Getchur Boy Dog's composition. I think this is going to be fun.
Yeah. We got ourselves a pirate, ladies and gentlemen, in Baby Cakes, and he's going to be paired up with Grayson on that Fire Mage. Okay, so that is a greater Pyroblast Fire Mage as well. Presumably going to be running that Kleptomania to go with that as well. It's going to be very interesting to see here. Grayson is going to be able to dish out tons and tons of damage here. Very low amount of ranged interrupts actually on what Method Orange is running here. Only really Trill that has that short cooldown kick. As we see a greater Pyro actually land. Cedar getting bashed up into a Cyclone from Flop. Beautiful follow-up there. Grayson's gonna get shut down though. Nicely done by Samayam.
Yeah, but Sidu with an excellent read dropped his Iron Bark on Trill before the stun, before the smoke bomb dropped, and that completely shut down that kill attempt. Grayson did use his combustion there. And I think for the Fire Mage, when you have combustion with Tricks of the Trade from the Outlaw Rogue that Baby Cakes is playing, it's a tremendous amount of damage, but unfortunately they just weren't able to find it. So far Grayson is just getting destroyed on all of these greater Pyroblasts. But the thing is, eventually one could potentially land, and now Trill having to Trinket out and drop his Darkness as Sidu was caught in some crowd control.
All right, we normally see Baby Cakes on Windwalker Monk, but I guess Getchur Boy Dog are desperate. In the meantime, Method Orange are gunning down for a kill on the healer Flop. And we saw Cubsy not be able to handle the pressure that Method Orange brought in this composition. So I'm curious to see if Flop can stay alive or if his team will rot. With Grayson down at half health and Baby Cakes as well, it's becoming increasingly more difficult. But at the same time, Sidu gets caught in crowd control, forced to trade his trinket to get out. But Grayson is still falling behind as both teams come out swinging in game number 1.
So actually, Sidu was sitting through that blind right there because of the fact that Outlaw Rogues, they have a talent called Blinding Powder, which reduces the cooldown of your blind. So your trinket is a 2-minute cooldown, and you can see here the blind is actually a 2-minute baseline getting reduced by 30 seconds. So it's not a 1-for-1 trade anymore, and sometimes Sidu is going to be forced to just sit through that, and then we're going to see the Trill having to use his Darkness and his defensives to survive that storm, and it's going to be very, very tricky as the game keeps going on for these two guys to actually survive those blind attempts.
Yep, and I think for Grayson in this matchup, it's difficult. One of the reasons why Samayam, I believe, is on the Boomkin is he can't be controlled quite as easily as some of the other classes, as in Moonkin, he is immune to Polymorph. Flop's mana is not doing well, that is for sure. So Method Orange, once again, with this composition, they will secure the late game advantage, as Trill is a Demon Hunter, and he has the Mana Rift, which has been burning healers' mana all day long. But another big setup here for Getchur Boy Dog. Can Trill survive? No Darkness, no Trinket, full sap on Sidu. Trill's all alone. They actually might be able to take him down. He has to run behind the pillar. Gladiator Safeguard does proc. He catches some heals and manages to stay alive. That was a nice attempt from Getchur Boy Dog. Completely not out of the woods yet, but I think Trill is ultimately going to survive. Flop needs to start looking for some mana.
Yeah, did he get away? No, he hasn't gotten away. His mana is still critically low. Baby Cake's now trading defensive cooldowns as well to try and stay aggressive in the fight, but that's opportunity just a second ago was really the only moment for Getchur Boy Dog to get a kill, and now at this point it's Method Orange's game.
Yeah, and those are the really big setups there. And when you play the Outlaw Fire Mage as well, you want to set up a crowd control chain. I want to see a Polymorph onto Trill or a stun onto Trill and some type of crowd control onto Samayam as Flop goes for that drink attempt. And that's going to be very, very key to set up. And you have to play around the trinkets as well. All of those Gladiator medallions are available on the side of Method Orange. So right now, for at least the next minute or two, they should be fine. As we see a smoke bomb dropped onto Samayam, he's going to respect that with just the Iron Bark, not going to be able to pull out the Gladiator's medallion. Sidu getting caught up in that bash, overlapped with the Cyclone. Now the reason for that is because Trill actually reverse magicked into it, so nicely done there by Flop, reading that he is going to be using that. Samayam though is going to be hanging out in bear form for a few more seconds, and then he should be good to go. And then we're going to probably see a blind coming in onto Sidu very, very soon.
Yeah, and one thing for Trill, he's actually not running the reverse magic, so he kind of won a mind game here. Like you said, Flop tried to overlap the Polymorph with the Cyclone, so Trill couldn't reverse, but he doesn't even have it available as an option anyways in this game. And I'm losing my voice and need some water.
All right,
I got you, dude.
gentlemen,
I'm the Sam I am of this team.
Sorry about
the
that,
rank
everybody.
1 water boy to the right side of the desk, carrying everybody here today. We do see a swap to Sea-Doo as Get Your Boy Dog try to surprise Method Orange. Will he be able to make it out alive? And it does appear to be the case. Sea-Doo stays in it. He's got a significant mana lead, but Get Your Boy Dog have huge damage potential moving forward. Let's see what they can get done.
Another Greater Pyroblast being baked up here by Grayson. He's going to land it onto Trill. You see Trill also getting caught up in that pistol stun. 2 Greater Pyroblasts, and we can see a lot of damage coming out of Grayson. But he seems to be taking the brunt of it as Sam I Am is getting out some of those Cyclones and a lot of those Star Surges as well. Sam I Am also going to be giving Sea-Doo that Innovate, which is another benefit of having that Moonkin on your roster. You get 2 of those Innovates.
Yep, definitely, and I'm back and hydrated, so hopefully my voice holds up. Grayson taking some burst damage midfield, still looking for the Greater Pyroblast. Katowice does proc. Who's he trying to get this on? Doesn't want to fall without ice blocking. Manages to find it. Flop, I'm not sure how much mana he has left. Not too much. Baby Cake's getting low as well. Sam I Am really finding a lot of pressure here in this matchup. Full stun on Trill. Grayson gets bashed up. Nicely done by Sam I Am. That kept Trill alive. That Greater Pyroblast could have been really scary. Once again, Grayson looking for the Greater Pyroblast damage, but as the game moves forward, Grayson can't afford to just sit in the midfield looking for these casts over and over. Eventually, the damage will be too taxing. Sea-Doo getting swapped to a little bit here. Sea-Doo's mana's not doing too well either as Flop looks for a drink far away. Trill manages to reconnect and shut that down. Now Sam I Am, he needs to find pressure on Grayson, on Baby Cakes, keep dots on Flop. Iron Bark's going to be connected on Flop to himself, and now Grayson and Baby Cakes are super vulnerable.
And this is another blind attempt here coming in. Sea-Doo's going to try to sit that one through. Sam I Am's going to respond with the Iron Bark as well. And as long as Flop doesn't actually get to go and drink with this setup, it should be looking like Method Orange are going to cruise through this game 1.
I mean, right now, they might just be able to get a kill. Tons of damage. Flop is locked down in crowd control. Grayson trying to deter Trill away with that Dragon's Breath. Baby Cakes backs him up with a stun, but even still, it's an inevitability here for Grayson to fall. He tries to set up the Miracle Pyro, but gets denied on it once again. Flop still with nothing left in the tank in terms of mana. We're now at 11% dampening, and this is critical point for Grayson. He's got nothing, but they go for the Miracle one-shot on Sea-Doo. Do they have enough damage to pull it off despite being so far behind? I don't think that they do. Grayson gets cycloned up. He is unable to continue the attack. Baby Cakes is trying to solo Sea-Doo. Is Baby Cakes actually going to be able to do it?
I don't know. It's definitely possible at this point. Sea-Doo has no mana left, no darkness. Grayson getting low. Cyclone on the Flop. Grayson has to survive a little bit longer. Blazing Barrier keeping him alive, but Flop really nothing left in the tank to keep him alive. Trill pushing forward. Sam I Am looking for the damage. Grayson does manage to stay afloat with the Polymorph spam on Trill. I don't know how Get Your Boy Dog is still in this. I don't really see many opportunities for them in the game, and eventually they will fall to this double Druid Demon Hunter setup coming in from Method Orange.
And we really do need to unpack this one as well, because coming into the arena, I think we had a pretty strong assumption. You just saw the last series. You know Method Orange can play those comps. You assume that they're going to lock them in. But we see tricks coming out from both sides. Super tricky indeed. Ultimately, seeing the Rogue and the Mage come out, we didn't expect that. Is Method sussing this out at all? Why do you think they locked in Sam on the Moonkin? I know I did see Sea-Doo tweet something out like the BlizzCon winning comp coming in clutch or something like that, but why do you think they decided to bring it out in the blind pick?
Well, maybe they just wanted to have something nice for the Shadow Priest and the Frost Mage comp. And I mean, on paper, what Sea-Doo and Method Orange are bringing in here isn't a terrible pick necessarily towards that. They can play for a longer game, and they have a lot of defense on their roster that way. But honestly, we just saw the boys dismantle that composition, playing Windwalker DK, and who is a better Windwalker DK than Mez and Trill? I don't see why they just wouldn't lock that in blind.
I'm curious. Yeah, well, now moving forward, they have it as well, which I do think is very important. Like, they get away with this composition. Van, you even liked the composition coming into this one. Blind, though, it does seem weird not to take what seemed to be a winning recipe.
Yeah, you would think that, but I feel like Method Orange, sometimes they just like to stick to their guns, and I feel like this composition is something they have so many reps on. Like we said, we saw them use this composition all the way to win BlizzCon, and I think it's not a bad comp. Sam I Am on the Moonkin is going to be really durable to damage, at least initially in the game, and being able to spam out Cyclones, it's one of the best peels in the entire game. If you don't have your Gladiator's Medallion, there's no way you get out of it. So if Trill is in trouble and Sam I Am can land that Cyclone, then this team's going to be completely fine. And eventually, I think it pairs well with the Demon Hunter as well, with the Starfall to really shut down Drinks, because Method Orange, although they are getting a lot of pressure during the game, ultimately they're winning because the enemy healer runs completely out of mana. So having Sam I Am to support Trill with the Starfall, I think, is a decent decision.
Even without the Lively Spirit, we do see it being a very strong build, right? Ultimately, I think there were a lot of questions as to whether or not it was going to be as durable, if it was going to have that damage. Then also you see Incarn getting a little bit weaker, let alone that trait. There are definitely a lot of questions. Method Orange has proved that it can work. I do feel like here on the blind, I don't want to see it again, though. Sid, would you rather see what they just played, or would you rather see them come in on Windwalker DK?
I think either composition is great. I really do. I feel like this mana burn specialization, if they can stay on top of a Resto Druid, just taps them out, and there's really no hope, and it's maybe a bit safer, but I don't know. The Windwalker Death Knight looked really solid as well. Either pick, I think, is fine. It's really Get Your Boy Dog that have to try and figure something else out.
You think it's all on GBD? Well, it was all on GBD in the last series as well.
Yeah, it definitely was. And I think for Method Orange, we talked about some of the changes to Moonkin's Lively Spirit not going to be as strong, but I think Sam has a different role in this current meta. It's just about surviving, keeping his team alive, mitigating damage, not getting controlled up. Making a lot of notes there.
Yeah, I've been keeping notes the entirety. You say a lot of important things, as you can see here. Yeah, these notes are... I think at the... looking now at... what I actually wrote down here was that Get Your Boy Dog, it's all on them, Zico.
We are going to see Method Orange lock in the Demon Hunter, Death Knight, and Rust Shaman. I like this more in the blind. This is something that it's a good answer for the Windwalker and the Frost Mage. It's a good answer as well for the Shadow Priest and the Frost Mage, which most likely is going to be selected by Get Your Boy Dog. And it's also a pretty good answer for the Rogue Mage that we just saw them bring out. I like that people are using the Rogue Mage with the Fire Mage still, but I don't like that no one is playing the Rosita Jones Firestarter build. And even Rosita Jones was playing it, but there was a couple of times that I didn't necessarily agree with, and it's more of how they were using it that I didn't like. I think if you play the Firestarter build as a Fire Mage and you just shove Combust on cooldown and you just try to actually out-mana somebody else, you will be surprised at how powerful the Fire Mage actually is at forcing people to run away, which is the meta right now. If you force people to leave the pillar, your Druid will go and get drinks, you will win later. So I think it's a winning recipe that people just haven't really figured out yet. Get Your Boy Dog, though, I think they're going to lock in the Shadow Priest and the Frost Mage, and it's going to be a tall order because Method Orange looked really good last series when they played this comp.
I think that something that you touched on, even outside of that composition, is really important to note. These players are still figuring out the current meta. This meta is basically this tournament old. It's exactly this tournament old. And you look at the players needing to figure it out on the fly. That's why we're seeing so many changes. One of the new takes is going to be Baby Cakes on this Pirate Rogue, on the Outlaw. It's not something we've seen when, Zico, I feel like every single game last year we were asking for the Outlaw. It was just so strong after it did come into vogue. But you remember the first time we saw it? I believe it was it Fury? Was it Fury?
Yeah, Fury Outlaw.
And all of a sudden everybody was like, wow, this is insane. And then we see more and more reps with it, more and more iterations, and all of a sudden Waz says, oh wait, we don't even need to play it with the Warrior, and that becomes the team that's playing it more and more. So we may start to see certain comps, certain specs come into form, start to get some discovery on them and seeing what they can really do. Sid, looking at what Get Your Boy Dog is bringing, how does this comp actually set up wins?
I mean, they've got Tricks of the Trade, so that is going to increase damage for the Mage and the Rogue, so they've got that extra damage burst potential, and that's really what they need to take down a target like Trill. They need to maximize as much damage as they can. They've got that lower cooldown blind with the Blinding Powder, so they can create a window where the healer has no way to get out of crowd control. They can use a Smoke Bomb to make it so Trill has no way to get out of crowd control later on the fight, and if they can remove both Sidhu's Gladiator Medallion, Trill's Gladiator Medallion, go for a big all-in kill with that Tricks of the Trade. I see potential for them to get a kill, but it's harder than trying to take down the Death Star. Like, you've got to line up like a perfect shot, one opportunity, and if you miss it, then you're gone. So they're putting a lot on one opportunity.
Hey, we all know how that movie ends, though, Sid. So maybe it will work.
What movie?
Death Star.
I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
Zico, go. goes, Zico 100% serious, goes, Death Star. Your notes are about as bad as mine. Those you notes over there, man. All right, so get your boy dog with a very interesting take on what to do in this current meta. But like Sid said, it is somewhat of a Hail Mary pass, but it was all on them in the last series as well. Like, that really is the thing you need to take into account, Zico. When we look at the last series, it seemed like they were 100% beat with exactly what Method Orange was playing with their previous comps.
Yeah, and that's the problem with a lot of these games. When you run into a brick wall like that and you don't have an answer, a lot of the other teams can kind of just see what you're playing and copy it and use it against you. And we've seen that in a lot of the series in both regions over the weekend. And this is going to be no different from those series.
This is the only thing I don't like about this composition is I feel like the Outlaw Rogue really doesn't have good consistent pressure. So it really is just going to be about a one-shot setup. And Trill and Mez are so durable. They have a lot of answers. They have Darkness. They have Anti-Magic Zone. I'm interested to see if Sea-Doo ends up playing Trinket or Relentless. The Relentless gets good value on the Blinding Powder blinds from Baby Cakes, which I think is strong, but it also opens up a window of opportunity for Get Your Boy Dog to actually manage to find a kill in this game. I feel like Method Orange, their game plan is simple. Get on Grayson, put Trill on flop occasionally, burn his mana, and that's their ultimate win condition.
Yeah, we've seen Sea-Doo really stick to the Trinket when we do know that when you're playing against an Outlaw Rogue, something that we haven't seen as much in this year of BFA, it's not going to be that one-to-one trade that you necessarily are used to. Method Orange going to be leading by 1 here in our best of 5. The gates are now open.
All right, everybody, this is an elimination match. Method Orange, the reigning champions from last year, looking to defend their title here in 2019 Arena World Championship Series. Flop jumps into the fight, but actually gets clotheslined by Trill. Immediately, Gladiator's Medallions and retreats away from that initial attack, and that's a vulnerability that Method Orange, of course, will look to take advantage of moving forward. Anti-Magic Zone here trades quite effectively from Mez for the Icy Veins of Grayson, but Trill doesn't even seem to care. He's completely disrespecting the damage that Get Your Boy Dog could potentially do in this position as Sea-Doo continues to be crowd controlled. Trill ultimately stays alive, but a good attempt by Get Your Boy Dog.
Yep, Trill blade dancing circles around Baby Cakes in order to survive. Didn't even trade out his blur in that situation. Still has Trinket and Darkness as well. And I expect that is how Method Orange is going to try to deal with these all-in attempts with the Blinding Powder blinds onto Sea-Doo. It's going to be Anti-Magic Zone. Then it's going to be Darkness, and that's how they're going to ultimately survive. Trill still getting a little bit low here. Pressure is low for Method Orange for the time being. Flop playing hyper aggressive, and I don't mind that from Get Your Boy Dog. Him going, or Flop going out of mana is an inevitability at this point in the game. Already down to 40%. You can tell when Wrestler Druid plays this aggressive, he burns through his mana quite quickly. So it's going to be up to Sea-Doo, Mez, and Trill to make sure he can't go away for a drink. Flop actually using Shadow Meld, but Trill immediately chasing him. And Baby Cake's actually buying some time with a beautiful gouge. Nicely done. Flop resetting a ton of his mana. These are the plays we need to see from Get Your Boy Dog.
Yeah, they're trying to battle it out and stay in this series, but Method Orange have crafted a composition that is quite durable and likely requires some dampening to be able to finally take down. Flop jumps into the fight. Grayson tries to follow it up, but Flop is actually able to keep the chain going single-handedly. We see Mana Rift used onto Grayson just for extra added damage by Trill, not ultimately turning into anything really of significance. Flop, although, is down to 50% mana at this point. It's only looking better and better for Method Orange. They haven't had to make any significant defensive trade against Get Your Boy Dog here in game number 2, and it's looking more and more so like it's going to be a rematch between the boys and Method Orange. Ooh. Triple crowd control, good initiation by Get Your Boy Dog, but now they need the damage to back it up. They've held 2 members in crowd control, but all they're going to get is blur for their efforts. They need far more than that. They tried to keep the chain going slightly longer, but it's not enough. Opting now to Cyclone Trill at low health. Can they switch anything onto Sea-Doo? I don't think they have the diminishing returns to exchange. Flop is trying to go for a Cyclone, gets denied by Trill. Trill is likely to restabilize here shortly as Sea-Doo has come out of crowd control. Maybe this burst damage is enough in dampening. I mean, there's been a few close calls here. Once again, a good setup by Get Your Boy Dog, and they're slowly but surely creating openings.
Yeah, Trill having to use the Anti-Magic Zone in order to survive. Flop going for a Cyclone here. Trill in a lot of trouble. He has the Darkness. Sea-Doo has to use Trinket and Spirit Link. Flop not doing well on mana. Trill, of course, his last line of defense is going to be that Trinket and the Darkness in order to keep himself alive.
Yeah, I really want to see Getchur Boy Dog now set up another crowd control onto Sea-Doo. As we see, Grayson might be forced into Ice Block. No, he has the Temporal Shield, he has the Iron Bark, should be fine for now. I want to see Getchur Boy Dog really try to set up another crowd control onto Sea-Doo, and I want to see Flop go for a drink when they get that CC. And now the Iron Bark is fading. Grayson's going to be forced into that Ice Block from that Metamorphosis. Now Baby Cake's going to look to set up another attack here, and Grayson he does have his Frozen Orb up in about 10 seconds here. You can see the polymorph spam is about to happen here. Trying to polymorph up Trill, presumably. We can't see it just quite yet though. No poly onto Sea-Doo either. Can't really get it going just yet. They have the blind though, and Sea-Doo doesn't have a trinket, so that is also a potential opening if they want to set up. And there it is, full blind onto Sea-Doo. Big damage onto Trill. They're going to force out his trinket. Did he have the sap? Baby Cakes is looking for it. He lands the sap. Nice sheep shot onto Mez as well. And here, this was the moment really where I wanted to see Flop not go in and instead pull back to the other side when his team has pressure and try to get that drink. Now the win condition for Method Orange is clear. Stop Flop from drinking. Mez is going to make sure that that happens and then put out pressure onto Grayson before that Iron Block comes back up. Can potentially force out yet another Ice Block.
Yep, definitely a little bit scary here for Flop now, but he managed to sneak away and get a drink. Method Orange isn't stopping him. If Flop can get full mana here, it's going to be devastating. Trill still low, hopping across the map, trying to reconnect. Flop really didn't get much of a drink there, unfortunately. Sea-Doo now into a polymorph. Trill all by himself. And Method Orange is very vulnerable. Trill with no trinket. If he gets caught into a stun, nice crowd control onto Sea-Doo. Trill keeping himself alive with Blade Dance, trying to avoid some damage in Metamorphosis. Darkness still available, as well as Blur. Cyclone coming in from Flop, using the last little bit of his mana in order to keep his team in the fight, extend the crowd control chain. And now Flop, he's looking for a drink, but Sea-Doo in hot pursuit. Grayson getting lower with only one Ice Block left. Things are getting scary here for Getchur Boy Dog.
Yeah, it most certainly is. I mean, Flop is totally tapped. Dampening kicks in, and Method Orange look to secure this to match points. This damage is absolutely devastating. Trill leads the charge with crowd control. Two members at critical low health. Sea-Doo, though, in a miraculous swap by Getchur Boy Dog, has a bit of a panic attack, but at least stays alive. And now Baby Cakes and Grayson are against the wall.
Yeah, and they have a lot of pressure here to work with. You see another full blind onto Sea-Doo. If Grayson can stop Mez, Flop might be able to get a drink. No, Mez gets that definite K and shuts that down. Beautifully done by Mez. And now I don't think Flop is going to get another opportunity to drink here if Trill and Mez just goes all in onto Grayson. After that Iron Bark is faded, he should be fine. Sea-Doo can even trade out his trinket here if he wishes to. Doesn't look like they have enough damage though, as Grayson is getting lower and lower. Temporal Shield is not going to be able to activate, maybe.
Yeah, Grayson getting lower. Can he survive? Temporal Shield gonna proc. Not doing that much healing though. Mez trying to reconnect. Trill trying to close out the game. Flop trying to keep him alive. But Grayson, I think, will ultimately fall. He blinks away with the Ice Barrier. Caught into Asphyxiate Sun. Trill still all over him at 10% dampening. Sea-Doo looking to close out the game with the Lava Burst. And Method Orange, they're just looking bulletproof.
And also, this was the composition that we knew was going to be able to beat what we had seen previously from this team. Now it looks like it works against this comp as well, and it's getting scarier and scarier for Getchur Boy Dog. They got one more chance to actually make this work, Zico, or they're going to be sent home.
I think we're looking at a 3-0 here. Method Orange can safely blind lock the same composition that they just locked in here. And Getchur Boy Dog, they're going to have to probably go for the Shadow Priest Mage. And they've been reluctant to actually picking that setup. They know it's not a great matchup for them. But they also look the best on that. That's their main guns. Maybe they should take a page out of Method Orange's book and just play something that they're very comfortable with, regardless of how well they are favored in the matchup, and just play to their strengths, get CMG in, try to get some nice mind controls, try to make some big plays, and just take the win that way. They still have Tolveron available in the map pool as well, so most likely we're going to see the next match being played on that map.
I'm very, very curious right now as to how this is going to play out. It's looking like a 3-0, which will set the stage for the grand final. We have a few moments here as the players do get ready. This next game can be the one that does settle it. Very much going to be in the favor of Method Orange, and then they move all the way back to the grand finals, and we can try to figure out what that matchup will look like. But one more game going to be the hope for Getchur Boy Dog. They need to figure out something quickly here. My name is Rich. I'm going to be your host, joined by Zico, Supatees, and Venruki. All right, guys, what on earth do you think they try to pull out now? We see the Outlaw Rogue come in. It was a little bit of a surprise. There was some hope in the first game. Then Method Orange just figures it out even more. They have a better composition for it. Zika, what do we see here?
I think they should just stick to their guns, play the Shadow Priest Mage. Not the greatest matchup, but you're going to at least have a big map to work with, and maybe you can, yep, there it is. Oh, okay, so the Assassination Fire Mage. I want to see them do the dampening strat. I don't want to see Grayson, it pains me to say it, but I don't want to see him play Greater Pyro. I want to see him play the Firestarter build. What we saw from Rosita Jones yesterday, I want to see that. And I just want to see Baby Cakes, Kidney Shot, whatever is in Grayson's line. I want to see him shove Combust on cooldown, press Klepto on cooldown, and win mana in terms of mana. Because anyone you do that to is going to have to run back. You can polymorph whoever is left in the fray, and then you can set up drinks that way.
The only thing that concerns me is, I agree, I don't want to see him play Greater Pyroblast because I feel like he's going to get trained down the entire game. And actually, no, I guess Sam I Am's playing a different composition. Okay, things make a lot more sense. I thought if they were playing the Windwalker Demon Hunter comp, then that necessarily wouldn't have been the best. But with this comp, I 100% agree with everything Zico just said. I think it's going to be important for Grayson to be looking to reset his combustion and just try to get out as much damage as possible. I think Greater Pyroblast can work, but that relies on a lot of mistakes from your opponents. And it seems like Method Orange, they knew exactly what they needed to do against that setup. All
right, so maybe no G-Pie here. You already heard the build that Zico potentially wants to see. What does Baby Cakes do in this matchup, Super Tease?
I mean, his main goal, if they want to pressure, I feel like going after Sam I Am is going to be the best here unless he maybe pulls back. This is a matchup that we used to see frequently, but maybe not with a Druid, more often with a Disciplined Priest, and there were some strategies where you would train the Shaman. And if you're Getchur Boy Dog and you've just basically lost 6 games in a row, if you lose this, you might go for something like that. You just go for all out, try and kill Cedo. If it doesn't work, it doesn't. Although the map doesn't make me think that they want to do that at all. They probably want to do the stall-based fight. I just don't think you can stall Trill with Mana Rift.
And also, I mean, it's tough to stall as well when you know Cedo is the king of the 360 no-scope pack spirit, and ultimately Method Orange has all of the cards. They just need one more game to be able to take their road all the way to the grand finals.
Yep, they are looking for a rematch against the boys and to claim a victory once again, assert their dominance, and show that they are the champs. Let's see what Getchur Boy Dog can get done. Grayson, once again, he's going for the Greater Pyroblast build, and we'll have to see what happens. I really feel like this build, it relies on some mistakes. Baby Cakes on the Assassination Rogue is not going to have as much setup potential as the Outlaw Rogue did have, and Getchur Boy Dog, they had difficulty getting setups with the Outlaw Rogue, and I think with the Assassination Rogue, it's going to be even more difficult.
All right, Baby Cake's trying to go after Sam I Am, but this is what I thought. Sam I Am would just duck around the corner with Cedo, and if Baby Cakes overextends, they'll go after him. Now, instead, going after Trill, whoever's left in midfield, to try and allow Grayson to set up for some damage. But you can already see that 3 members of Getchur Boy Dog are dipping dangerously low. This Temporal Shield, it's a race against the clock. Maledicts might soak up the incoming healing. Grayson in trouble with that huge Temporal Shield, was able to completely bounce back into the fight. Quite a scary moment for Grayson on match point, but he manages to get away with it. Multiple Greater Pyroblasts incoming. One is going to connect here. We do see Baby Cakes going after Cedo. It's desperate. It's dire. Can they do it? They're against everything and all odds. They dip Cedo so low in one hit. They both get Astral Shift and the Darkness. Potential for Getchur Boy Dog in this series to stay alive.
Yeah, that took a lot of cooldown, so it was a vendetta from Baby Cakes and the combustion from Grayson. So I think Cedo should be able to hold on, but a full kidney shot. Cedo didn't top himself off. Still a lot of incoming damage. Grayson really not finding the pressure that he needs, and now that Sam I Am is there, he's able to spam out the Cyclones. Baby Cakes playing Relentless. If he ever gets caught in a Cyclone, there's no way he can get out of it. Same with Grayson. That's one of the reasons I don't necessarily love the Relentless talent against a Moonkin, but here's a decent setup. On to Sam I Am. One Greater Pyroblast lands with the Meteor, but the Bear form is going to be good damage reduction, especially with that Bark Skin.
Yeah, and Trill is actually playing the reverse magic this game as well. Actually manages to weather that storm with that. Sam I Am also getting cloned up on low HP. Not going to do too much though. Has that Greater Pyroblast, gets interrupted. Sam I Am has his renewal as well to work with here. So as long as they keep their target Grayson interrupted on those Greater Pyroblasts. This one, I hope he gets cloned up as well. Beautifully done there by Samayam. They don't have any interrupts, so he clones him on that cast, as Cyclone is a shorter cast than Greater Pyroblast. Now Trill is going to have his interrupt as well. He's going to rotate through those. We see a big swap though into Sea-Doo, actually onto Samayam. Full sheep on Sea-Doo. Greater Pyroblast being channeled out. He's going to get interrupted though. I think Samayam...
did he get interrupted? I don't think he did.
Yeah, I think he just canceled it.
He canceled it at 90% of the way through the cast, so I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but definitely a missed opportunity for Grayson, now looking for another Greater Pyroblast. But in the meantime, Trill has just been burning Flop over and over with the mana rifts, and look at Flop's mana. He doesn't really have anything left, and Trill's going to continuously chase him down. Method Orange, this is their win condition. They're going to be feeling quite happy to just keep the pressure up, but a big swap here onto Sea-Doo. Vendetta is available, Combustion as well. They're trying to pull something from Sea-Doo, and basically a fake swap in that kidney shot, but Sea-Doo's not falling for it, and I think he's going to be completely fine.
Yeah, and at this point, basically all the defensive cooldowns for Method Orange are rotated back up and available. Flop has 0 mana. He faces elimination along with his team. Get your boy dog. Method Orange, they want that rematch. They want this opportunity at redemption from a lackluster performance in Cup number 1. Cup number 2, they have a chance to go all the way and claim first place. It looks confident for them to take the rest of this series, as Flop is now completely tapped on mana. The only way they would lose this is if they completely ignore him, which is maybe sort of what's actually happening right now. Nope, there's a Starfall. Samayam is not going to allow Flop any opportunity to crawl back into this game.
He actually gets a nice Cyclone there on his Trinket. Grayson's going to activate the Temporal Shield, trying to survive for a little bit longer for Flop to come out of there. He has his Iron Bark to work with. They still have the Ice Block as well, but that's about it. They really got to make this next push count. And as I said, that there's the Combustion. There's Sea-Doo getting caught up in that Cyclone. Nice Trinket there from Samayam. Is going to respect the aggression. There is a Darkness as well, but right now Samayam is returning the pressure with that Incarnation. Grayson might have to actually use his Ice Block here shortly.
Yeah, definitely a very scary moment for Grayson as he's caught at low HP in the Cyclone. Kidney shot now on Samayam. Baby Cake's trying to keep him alive. There's an Iron Bark from Flop, but he just has no mana to work with. Sea-Doo sitting at 100% mana in this matchup. Method Orange looking completely fine, completely healthy. Grayson manages to hold on a little bit longer, looking for a Greater Pyroblast. Gets interrupted once again by Trill. Flop once again trying to make an escape to get some mana. Grayson not able to find the Greater Pyroblast, and things are just looking better and better for Method Orange.
I think Sea-Doo should start spending this mana on purges. I think it's obvious at this point he doesn't need mana to heal through this team. Huge hit here towards Samayam, and Flop is not able to get any mana off the back of what I thought was going to be a full drink. Now, Baby Cake's in trouble as Method Orange go and target him. Evasion trades, but that may not even be enough. Grayson's trying to pull some miracles out here. Multiple Greater Pyroblasts, ends up breaking the chain. Baby Cakes is still low on health, but Sea-Doo's locked down in crowd control. This could be it, the one-hit wonder. Does Grayson have enough damage to push Samayam over the edge? With Barkskin available and bashing up that cast, Samayam keeps himself in the fight. Flop not able to get any mana yet again. Sea-Doo just making that impossible for him as he tries to cross across the desert of Tolvaron to sit down in the oasis and regenerate mana. Trill in hot pursuit to deny that vengeful retreat into line of sight. How much mana did you get, Flop? Come on. Come on. It's better than nothing.
Yeah, definitely better than nothing. Being completely human is not ideal in this matchup. Grayson's still looking for the Greater Pyroblast. And Get Your Boy Dog, they're not giving this victory to Method Orange easily. They're definitely making them work for it, and there are moments of opportunity with Combustion and Vendetta available. There's a lot of damage for Get Your Boy Dog, potentially, that they can pull on Method Orange.
Yeah, most certainly here as dampening engages. Grayson at low health tries to go for the kill. Huge Meteor connects. Maledict soaking up Sea-Doo's healing. Can they keep the chain going? They do. They secure. No, they break the polymorph. Why did Baby Cakes break the polymorph? He was so close.
He wanted to follow up with the Garou, but they miscommunicated there. Grayson had another polymorph coming, and they overlapped that. Had they actually done that a little bit cleaner, that could potentially have been the game. But Flop is sitting down for a drink. If Grayson actually can shut down Trill here with the double blink, does he manage to get the poly? Doesn't look like he does. Trill is going to be able to shut down that drink. Sea-Doo is going to Trinket out of that blind, and Flop did get a little bit of mana left. They could potentially survive for one more attack. They don't have too much to work with here, though. Baby Cake's gonna have his evasion coming up shortly. Grayson still has some of his defensive flop. He's actually gonna get a drink here. Nice polymorphs there onto Trill. Not gonna be in time though to actually stop that drink. You can see Flop going for the bash into the Cyclone. Nice cross CC there onto Trill, as well as he lands another mana burn, forcing out that bark skin from Sam I Am.
You know, you have to bring up the fact that a little bit earlier, Super Tease is saying maybe Sea-Doo just starts spamming Purge at this point. It looked like Method Orange completely had Getchur Boy Dog where they wanted him, and slowly a few mistakes come in. Flop's been able to grab some mana, and some real pressure has been coming out. We are going to see Grayson slow down while he's in the poly, but Sam's still in the kidney.
Yep, definitely. Sam getting shut down by this assassination. Flop getting deleted in the midfield, and that is what we know from Sam I Am. It's like a repeat of BlizzCon.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, he's inside that kidney the second he gets out that incarnate, so he's going to be able to do quick work, and Method Orange is going to be able to win. I think it is important, though, to be a little bit critical of Method Orange. It looked like that one was going to be an absolute windmill slam, and slowly a few things start to not go their way. We know they're headed to the grand final right now. I just want to pay attention to that before we do get to that series, because we know they do have a real shot, but let's look at how this one actually closed out.
Yeah, it was mostly just they managed to get a few resets, but it just wasn't enough, honestly. Every single time when they get these setups here, you can see Grayson, he's going to be getting a sheep soon, and there it is. Now Greater Pyroblast, he's going to be getting interrupted. Sam I Am, it's going to get kidney shot, reverse magic from Trill, and then now because that reverse magic has been used, Trill is just going to focus on burning Flop on that remaining bit of mana. Sam I Am as well, of course, with that incarnation is going to assist with that damage. Big Star Surges, and Sea-Doo's own Maledict Trinket right there towards the end seals that one. I can't help but say there was not a single Greater Pyro, I think, that game that actually landed when they had a CC on Sea-Doo and a kidney shot in a really crucial moment like that. I would have much rather seen just a surprise swap with Combust, a kidney shot, and just surprise Combust again. It's much harder to react to because it's just instantaneous damage, and you can reduce the cooldown of Combust a lot more. You're not really going to want to kick those fireballs.
And now we turn our attention to the grand final. We need to take a look, though, at how the two teams did get there. Getchur Boy Dog going to be sent home by Method Orange as they do return to the good graces of a grand final, their first one of the year as well. When we looked at the last cup, they didn't even make it to the broadcast. Now they're going to be going up against the boys. We want to know from you.